Good day, one and all, and welcome to CC Sharing Space. My name is Cici, and I would like to speak today about basically what's trending currently with the George Floyd murder in America. It happened last week. I would like to speak about the fact that racism is nothing new in the world, and I would like to give my own perspective, my own perception on what is really going on, my opinion basically. Everybody is entitled to an opinion, and I feel that, well, I will use this platform to give my opinion as a person who happens to be born in with black skin, and I have from South Africa, an African country which has experienced racism in its most extremist form from 1948 to 1994. Okay, racism basically is defined as discrimination, antagonism, prejudice against someone of different race. Remember, different race based on belief that one's race is more superior than that other person's, right? So the key word here are race, discrimination, antagonism, prejudice. Okay, so when I looked into it more in depth, because everything you need to don't take it in face value, and I choose not to take things as too personal and too emotional, because again, born in and bred in a country which is, I mean, we had racism for a very long time in our country, and was actually based on the political system that was running the country within the apartheid period, right? So I was born into a country with that history. So I was born into the fact that it's black and white. Okay. However, if you look at the word race, race is just a distinction between different races of people in the world, right? The black and white option has just been part of the race wars, as they call it, okay? Because you get different type of races in the world. You get the Caucasians, you get the what they call it, the Asian race and other races, okay? But they don't mention anything about color in that type of distinction, okay? So my question is, why are we so emotionally moved because of the murder? Yeah, that I can understand, because George Floyd was murdered in public, out in the open, right? But the mere fact to me is the fact they killed a black man. Okay, so my question is, if a white man was killed like that, say for example, George Floyd happened to be a white man, what would have been the situation then? Would there have been such a huge outcry? So now the distinction is basically fact pointed on the fact that Floyd happened to be a black man, American black person, right? So he was murdered unjustly. Okay, like this, what the guy was really had no right to do such a thing. Okay, so that's murder. So you link murder and racism together in the situation. So all the things are all piling up. Okay, so when you look at racism, as I said, it's a very old institution. It's an institution. I mean, the slavery system was based on race. If you look at the history of the world, like the different races used to have wars, or not races, it's like uh, different ethnic groups, like even in Europe and all over the world, as you have these wars, tribal wars, as you may call them, as you have these wars, and they used to capture the enemy after they defeated him, and then make them slaves. Okay, this is long before the black slave trade. Okay, and I must add that the black slave trade was economical thing. So they took a concept of the old way of capturing the country or the people that you conquered and made them your slaves, no matter what color they were or whatever race they were. Okay, so then that was the first type of slavery, okay? And then now it just graduated later on with the black slave trade, which is basically economical type of phenomenon. It was for money, basically, okay? And it went on for a very long time. And then we moved on to colonization, which is very interesting because this is also a point of power. That's where race has a power aspect to it. Okay, like for example, if a person happens to be of from Europe and he is born in a white skin, a Caucasian, he tends to have in this life, he have more power over a person born in Africa or maybe born in South America, or even born in India or Asia, just because of the fact of where he was born and the skin color that he's in. That's racism, right? He has that power. So one of the main concepts of racism is that power aspect, because colonization is about power. The colonizing master went to all these undeveloped indigenous countries and states and continents and started colonizing them, disguised in the fact that he's helping them to progress. However, it was, we all know how that ended anyway, okay? It's about them coming in and plundering and taking over continents and states and taking the people's rights and trying teaching them that their cultures, their indigenous ways of living is not correct, not right, and that they heathenists, because that's when they started using religion and stuff. And and it just goes on from there. So the history of the world is full of these type of things. Now my question is why George Floyd's issue has caused such a outcry at this time. My take on it is that after the coronavirus, okay, they introduced us, because I really believe that everything is orchestrated for a certain reason. Okay, I don't have all the answers, but you have to look at media and what you fed on media and ask questions to try and make sense for yourself, and don't like be too emotional, okay? You need to really understand something, do your research on why this, why now, because racism has been around for many years and a lot of black Americans have been killed. Even in the time of Obama, there was people, black guys, population, people, citizens being killed by police, but there was no such big cry like this. So I like to think that in the coronavirus period, when it first came in early this year, March or so, there was this big collective unity amongst the people of different race and color and everything and groups. They were united against coronavirus. They were united against it, fighting this common enemy, right? So now that unity brought the people together, meaning there was this more of energy of love, unity, and working together. Then now all of a sudden, in June, bang, another story comes in. This incident with George Floyd. I don't have all the facts, but this is just my opinion that it just doesn't seem to gel. I mean, why now? And why the specific guy, George Floyd? And why the situation in the whole world is now uprised and the whole world is saying that Black lives count. Black lives count. They've always have been counting. There's no life that doesn't count. The thing is that if you a person born in color, in a skin that's black, that's not white, you live that life and you go through those challenges as being a person of color. You may be black American, you can black South African, you can black whatever, African, whatever. Okay, and you have these inspirations in life to achieve certain things, which are in most cases more catered for so-called the white population, because they have um, more advances in life. They can do more. I mean, it's just a common fact that if you're born in a white skin, you're born in a point of privilege. Not that it's a bad thing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong being born in a black skin either. But I just feel that the best thing, my take on is the best thing is to live a happy life is to focus on something else which you can control. Number one, you can't control your skin color, you can't control your ethnic group where you're from, but you can control how you perceive things, how you perceive yourself in life. So if you feel you want to achieve something in life, you shouldn't let your skin color prevent you from doing that. You shouldn't let your whatever situation may be, a disability or an impairment or something. If you want to do something in life and achieve and have this happiness that you raise so much desire, you shouldn't let these things stop you. If you have the means to do something, go ahead and do. If you don't have it, create the means so you can do that specific thing that you want to do to create this life that you want to create. Right. So my take on this whole thing is that the first thing that we need to understand that love and understanding is the first thing, and that racism will always be there because you cannot change. You can't change the way the game is played in life. You cannot change that it's black and white, and you cannot change that it's racism because it always has been here. It's part of the game. It's how you react to what's going on. Are you going to choose to not focus on yourself, on your own life, and building what you want to build, and you're going to focus outside yourself and worry about all these things happening, racism, all these things, and you forget to focus on creating your own life, your own joy. So I'm all for creating your own joy in life. No matter what situation you are in, make peace with who you are and what you are, and make lemonade out of lemons. I'm speaking because in a situation because I know that I am a person of color, I'm a female, I'm black, and I happen to have a physical disability. So I'm like, in South Africa, we call it triple BE, black empowerment thing, right? So I'm a candidate for that type of thing, you know what I mean? That's just an African concept. So I still believe that we should stop focusing on things that we cannot change and focus on things that we can change. And what we can change is how we perceive things, how we understand things, and how we react to certain things. Anyway, I'm going to stop my video right here. Thank you for tuning into my video, watching my video. And thank you for taking your time to listen to this video. Please subscribe to my channel. I much appreciate it. Thank you so much.